is the ISUPK. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the one and only Commandant General Yohana. This is the ISUPK Las Vegas Brotherhood class. Oops, this is ISUPK Las Vegas Brotherhood class. And today, as the title says, we're going to go over that basically that, Christ did not die for the other nation's salvation. Now, before we even start, who can tell me why did Christ not die for one? Yeah, why did Christ not die for the other nation's salvation? Young man.
Because he's
speak up.
Because he's an Israelite and he's only for that nation of people.
Okay, so because Christ is an Israelite and he only died for that nation of people, you're right. But I want more. Like, I want you to go a little bit deeper than that. What's a little bit deeper than, if you take it a step further, of the fact that Christ did not die for the other nations? Hey, Salaki, bring that light down a little bit, so that it's coming down here a little bit more. Baba shot. Oh yeah, that's Tawak. Wait, bring it down a little bit again, Salaki. Like a step further, right there. Yeah, that's Tawak. So a step further from that Christ didn't die for the other nations' salvation. Y'all need a hint? Go ahead, Sid.
I was going to say God isn't for everybody.
You're not wrong. The Most High is not for everybody. You're not wrong. All right. So I'll ask another question. Okay. How does what is salvation? Tell me what is salvation in the first place? You know what I mean?
Being saved, being able to continue living.
Are you sure? You sound like you're questioning yourself a little bit.
I mean, from my knowledge, that's a little.
So from your knowledge, so from what you know, is that's the way of the world, that's the way of this earth, that's the way of the truth. What do you think you should do? There you go. Most High Christ. So while the young man does that, looks up the definition of salvation. If y'all don't mind, those of y'all that are online, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to our ISUPK Nevada YouTube page, and then like, share our Facebook page on ISUPK Las Vegas, and also like the ISUPK Las Vegas Facebook page. Salakia. I'm also going to do that myself with liking and sharing the post. Salakia. It's important for everybody to do their part and like and share these videos. For one, it does provoke the algorithm, so that basically we can achieve our objective, and which is to fish all of our brothers and sisters that are lost in the world to basically that are all spread out throughout the four corners of the earth. You understand? You got it?
Come on, sir.
All right, go ahead and read that.
Salvation, preservation or deliverance from harm, ruin, or loss.
Ooh. I think you should read that one more time, just so that you can revisit. We can revisit that question again, and maybe you can, actually ask that question, answer that question. Salaki, go ahead.
Salvation, preservation or deliverance from harm, ruin, or loss.
Okay, so what is salvation according to the Bible then? According to that definition, that's an excellent definition. What is salvation according to the Bible?
us being delivered from the harm that they caused us.
Who is they?
The other nations.
The oppressors. You just say oppressor because that's pretty much damn near an umbrella blanket term. Because I mean, who's not oppressing so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans? The Israelites. Who's not oppressing us? Can anybody raise their hand and tell us? Can anybody raise their hand and tell us and tell me who's allied with the Israelites? Who's actually helping blacks in the situation that they're in? Is Akon over there in Africa helping to build up Africa, saying, "Hey man, let me help out those katas back in America with the issues that they have." Is what's his name? Vladimir Putin, whatever the hell his name is, over there in Russia. Is he helping us? Is Kim Jong-un helping us? Is anybody helping us at all?
Wow.
But how do we get help? Can you answer that though? Yeah, man.
Get help from the ISUPK, following the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High.
Nah, you right. Essentially, you align yourself up with Christ, because what did Christ die for?
For our sins.
Stay on top.
Oh, our salvation.
For our salvation, he was that last and he was that last sacrifice, ultimate sacrifice for us to basically atone for our sins, so that we can come out of the world that we are in and inherit the kingdom that was promised to our forefathers. Right? So what we're gonna do first, mind you, is we're gonna finish up what we started off talking with from last week, because of course this goes into not only identifying who our oppressors are, it's primarily not primarily, but specifically Salakia, our main oppressor, but also the end of what is to come for our oppressors collectively. And after we get done with that, which we should get done, actually wrap that up today, then we're gonna actually go into who Yahawashai Mashiach in the Hebrew, or as y'all may know him, for those of y'all that are still in the world, Jesus Christ. You understand? So first and foremost, we're gonna start at the book of 2 Corinthians, and we're gonna 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 13 is where we're gonna start. Baba Kasha, if you could pull that for me, and then Salakia, give me a second as well, because I'm still pushing this out.
Uh, 11 and 13, you said?
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 13. Come on. Yeah, go ahead and hit that. And then give me just 1 second, just a few minutes. No, Lord willing, it's going to take a few minutes. But, you know what I'm saying? I'm almost done. Salakia. All right, go ahead and read that when you got it, starting at verse 13.
The book is 2 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 13.
Uh-huh.
For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ.
Hold on, read that from the top, Baba Kashai. Say that again.
For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ.
Such as false prophets. Okay, so read 14.
Verse 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
Okay, so with that being said, who is 13 even talking about? We read 13 and 14. Who's 14 even talking about? What is 13 and 14? Who is that talking about? Sis?
It's talking about all those
Christian
Christian pastors.
pastors? Okay, no, that's a good answer. Yeah, you're Salaki?
I was saying anyone that believes in Christianity.
Yeah, Christians as a whole. But also, are you able to broaden this out as well? Past Christianity, go ahead.
Popes, the Catholic popes.
Yeah, Catholicism, because technically Christianity was begotten of Catholicism. You understand? But any false prophet, I mean, does a Muslim have false prophets, or do they have real prophets? So I mean, that's a false. They got false prophets. What about Buddhism and Hinduism and all that other nonsense? Because mind you, how I want to put it, those that worship Satan, does Satan only have one? Is he an entity that is only over one? How I want to put it, one belief, one religious sect? Go ahead.
He came up with all these other religions, being agnostic or atheist, and all of the above.
Get a young man a hand. Anything outside of the truth, hell, anything outside of the ISUPK, anything outside of what Yahushua Mashiach, our King, or Jesus Christ in the English, anything that's outside of what he actually taught was basically manifested by whom? You said it. Go ahead.
Satan.
By Satan. It's Satan's get down. It's his, we can say cult, his church, his belief, his deceit that he put on the people. You know what I'm saying? He basically just planted it into, everybody else's mind. Hey man, God loves everybody. Or if you wear dreadlocks, Salakia, if you grow out dreadlocks, what's the goddess name? The Hindu goddess? I went over. Go ahead, Sid. Shiva. Like Shiva has said, where you grow out your dreadlocks. Can anybody tell me why Shiva says to grow out your hair like what the guru said? Go ahead.
It opens all of the chambers in your brain. You're able to use your whole brain.
Connects your left and right hemisphere of your brain, and then on top of that, also it unlocks small mechanical portions of your brain that you didn't use before. I mean, I guess because you got all that dirt sitting on your head, you're getting such a workout trying to keep your head up that some way somehow that also exercises your brains, and now all of a sudden you can do whatever fake nonsense the Hindus say that you can. So with that, go ahead and read on from 14. Start from 14.
Verse 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
So Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Who could break that down? What does that mean for Satan to be transforming himself into an angel of light? Go ahead.
Transforming himself into Christianity?
Christianity is an excellent start point, But mind you, Satan is transforming. Did you have something, sis? All right. He's transforming himself into an angel of light. So if he's transforming himself into an angel of light, what was he originally?
Darkness.
It's actually darkness. He's the dark lantern down the wrong path, essentially. You come down this path following this dark purple, whatever, this lantern down this road, you're going to come into darkness. Now, of course, who goes, oh, except for Esau, oh, I want to find out what's down that dark road. I don't know what is going on. I don't know what's in that, in that pathway. I don't know what's going on in them surroundings. Who actually wants to go down that way? Except for Esau in the movies. Nobody does. So how do you get somebody to go down the path of which you ain't supposed to go, but to still lure them in? How do you do that? You got something to say?
I was gonna say, you portray yourself as something good, I guess.
So how about you reread the verse? Reread that last part.
For Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
Say that last part again. Just
an angel of light.
Transformed himself into an angel of light. He transformed himself. He gave off. He changed his appearance. So now no longer is he looked at as, I want to put it, that dark alleyway, that dark path, that dark road into destruction. But he changed that road into destruction as a beautiful road, the yellow brick road. Follow down this road, and yeah, at the end you still get destruction. But that road now it's got flowers and rainbows and butterflies, and it looks beautiful. This don't look so bad. And then on the way, I could pick as many flowers as I want. I can sleep with all the men that I want. I can sleep with all the women that I can do whatever I want. I can eat what I want. I could do what I want. And this one, I gotta do the other path, the right path. Straight and narrow. That's kind of scary. I might step to the left a little bit. I'm a little afraid of heights. I might fall off. You understand what I'm painting for y'all right now? Because on the left road, it looks pretty. It looks safe. Everyone else is doing it. Hell, you damn near you side by side with with folk. You got people in front of you, people behind you, people to the left and to your right when you going down this road. I mean, we all doing it. He ain't getting killed for eating pork. He ain't being killed for being a Christian. He ain't being killed for being a Muslim. Man, coexist. Wow, y'all over there, y'all straight and narrow. Like, that's not enough excitement for me. So which one's more appealing to the eyes of the flesh?
You can do whatever you want.
Right. So does that answer your question with the transformation that that Satan had? It does. Like, do you understand how he transformed himself? Are you sure? You don't look very sure. All right. No sweat. Read verse 15.
Verse 15. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness.
So his ministers as well are being transformed into ministers of righteousness. So what were they before? Before they were transformed, what were they?
Wicked people.
They were ministers of wickedness. But now they're ministers of righteousness. Because again, Hey man, come down the yellow brick road where you can do what you want. God gonna love you. Just make sure you pay your 10% tithes. Make sure you do that. But whatever hardship that you got, whatever you got going on, and come down this road, salvation is waiting for you on the other side. Go ahead and read on.
Verse 16. I say again, let no man think me a fool. If otherwise, yet as a fool receive me. That
Slaggy. Okay. So y'all understand 13 through 15, correct?
Come.
All right. Sis, you got any questions? All right, Most High Christ. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, and start at verse 12. And then also as well, young man, make sure that you watching
YouTube?
Yeah, you go ahead and watch YouTube. I'll watch the Facebook chat. Hopefully this doggone thing will work correctly so I can see the entire chat. I got it. You got it?
Come.
I'll go ahead and read it when you got it.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Okay, so I want you to go ahead, break that down. Who could break that down for me? Yeah, man.
Is it some thinking it's talking about the fallen? They're talking about the fallen angel Lucifer. So how they're fallen from heaven?
So you think that there was an actual angel that fell from heaven, and his name was Lucifer?
No, I'm
Okay.
saying.
Now remember, when I'm asking these questions, when I'm asking you to break it down, I want you to break it down to me as if I'm one of these little goofy, doofy ass Christians who don't know the Bible. I want you to break it down to me like that, where you have to make a goofy Christian understand what that verse means. So how do you explain that? Start from the top.
How art thou fallen from heaven?
Okay, so who fell from what is heaven?
Heaven is a state of
Sis.
It's a state of it's like a state where I can't even say the word anymore. A state of being. I don't know the word.
You're like you right around the corner. Go ahead.
A state of mind.
State of mind or a condition. Okay? But how is heaven being described? What context do you think that heaven is being used in this verse, though? So I should have specified that question, sis.
I think it's basically like saying, like, how did you fall from where you were at, like the state of where you were at, how.
What was the state that Lucifer was at?
He wasn't a good state, I'm assuming.
Okay, he was at the good. He was. How? Go ahead.
So like, let's say, for example, like if you're at a point in life where everything's going good, something like that, like in a good, like in that way, like if everything's going good for you, doing things right, like how do you fall so far down from that, basically?
Like you're close, but not quite. Young man, did you want to give it a shot?
Is it basically saying like, how has he like?
We're starting off with just the first line. How art thou fallen from heaven? What is heaven in a context from this? Now you can take one of the definitions that we already that we already came out with. I'm not gonna repeat because I want y'all to be paying attention and put two and two together.
How did he come out of that state of mind of being in heaven?
Okay, but what's also associated with being in the state of mind, the condition of heaven? What's also associated with that? It's likely. And mind you as well, if anybody online has an answer, a response, we are paying attention to Facebook and the YouTube. So if you have an answer yourself, please comment. Give y'all a few more moments just to see if anybody online has got wants to take a stab at it. Who can tell me, here, I'll give y'all another hint. What does it feel like when you're in heaven? Yeah, man.
Being happy, nothing to worry about.
Okay. Nothing to worry about is bringing you. It's not close, but it's at least in the ballpark. Why don't you have to worry about anything?
Because you don't have to worry about evil of any type necessarily.
You don't? But Lucifer's on top right here. From what, he fell from heaven. In this verse, it says he fell from heaven. Now, technically, isn't the reason why Lucifer is even falling from heaven is because of his evilness? What is heaven in this context? You know what? How about let's reread that verse again. Go ahead, sis. It's a condition you're in. Yeah, it's a mind state or a condition. But in the context of this verse, how do you fall from heaven? Explain Lucifer falling from heaven. How did Lucifer fall from heaven? Yeah, man.
By not following the law, statutes, commands of the Most High.
Lucifer won't follow that in the first place. Read the whole verse again. Go ahead.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?
Okay.
How art thou cut down to the ground?
Oh, stop right there. Now read on.
Which didst weaken the nations.
So, you're reading it. I had him pause for a second for a reason. Sis. He was cut down from what? Context, break it down. I'm a dumb Christian right now. I don't understand. I think he's a fallen angel, and Lucifer probably came down here and started having sex with human women. And then now we got a bunch of demigods and Hercules and all sorts of nonsense. You had your hand raised?
You got cut down from the state of mind of being in heaven?
Okay, but what's also synonymous with being in the state of mind of being in heaven? Yeah, man.
Being in hell.
No, synonymous with what is similar, what's like. Nobody? You got anything on YouTube?
Wow. They said bliss. I'm not sure how to say it.
No, not bliss. I had you. Okay. Read it again. How art thou fallen from heaven? Go ahead.
O Lucifer, son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground?
So, where is heaven? Where's heaven?
It's a condition. It's not. It basically.
Oh, Salakia. There's also a third definition to heaven. Y'all can't tell me? Where's the stars at? Where the clouds at? Sis. It's up in the sky. So, if Lucifer fell from heaven, where did he fall from? But bring me more to context. Pay attention to context. I'll do it with you later. What's higher than heaven? Me either. So if I'm in heaven, where else am I? Wow. So real quick, the down or falling from heaven. How about we continue to we'll continue to read in Isaiah 14 and 12 through 16. And first and foremost, we'll find out who Lucifer actually is, and that in itself will give you the answer to your question. All right? Go ahead, young man.
The sister on here said that she said falling from position of power.
Falling from a position of power. So if you're in a position of power, you know what? I'll take that. I'll take that answer. I'll take that as he fell from a position of power, because if you're in a position of power, where are you?
In heaven.
You're in heaven. So if you're in a position, if heaven is being in a position of power, you are on top. Because who's on top right now? Mind you, what the subject is today in the first place, who Christ did not even die for. And I had also announced in the very beginning of the class that, you know, we're gonna finish what we started from last week, and part of that was identifying who our oppressors are and what their end is, right? So let's read forward. You had something, young man?
Oh, you said a question, and what you were saying, I'm gonna answer that question. Who's on top right now? Esau.
No, you're right. Esau's on top right now. So with that being said, who is Lucifer? We're going to find out. Read on. Verse 13.
Verse 13.
Uh-huh.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
So, do you think that Lucifer fell from heaven and then said, I will ascend to heaven in his heart? Just have that in the back, have that in your head as we read on. Go ahead.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
Uh-huh.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
So, no, you're right, sis. Sister Amanabath has said the so-called white man is on top. We are on the bottom. We being the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Salakia. The Most High is going to flip things in a little while. You're exactly right, sis. So far, how can you break down? We finished 13, correct? Yes. How can you break down 13 and explain to me how it's not that BS Enoch nonsense where they try to say that angels fell from heaven and started sleeping with, women of the earth, creating demigods, or at least tell me who 13 is actually speaking about, and then elaborate on that. Because mind you as well, I said keep in the back of your mind as we continue to read forward, where he said, "For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend to heaven." I asked you, did Lucifer say that before or after heaven? And this is basically, going in on that whole book of Enoch nonsense that a lot of people like to try to, say we all need to read, but that's just trash. That's just much trash as the Muslim book, the doggone or Quran, whatever, the Book of Mormon, any other religion except for, or not even because we ain't a religion, but any other documents, so-called documents, aside from, the Bible, the 1611 edition Bible. So can anybody tell me? Explain that to me. And mind you as well, I want y'all to keep in mind, like when we're reading through verses, don't be afraid to, read a couple of verses above and read a couple of verses after. Because the thing is your best friend when you breaking down this Bible is what? Can anybody tell me what? What your best ally is when you reading from the Bible and you trying to explain something in the Bible? What's the best thing that you should do? Is what? Yeah. Is what? What should you use? For time's sake, precepts. Go to another precept. That's why it's important for you to always take notes. Break them down according to, subjects. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with you going, you got one page for the class of the day, the breakdowns that you do for that day. And this is like what I do. I title my page for whatever the class is. I date it, write down all the, the precepts we go over for that day. And if it's one of those manifold precepts, I've got another book where I put those manifold precepts into those dual subjects. And, I put them under any subject that it applies to, basically. You understand what I'm saying? Whether it's, if it's brotherhood, then there might be a verse where I take some of that brotherhood, and it also applies to, multiple wives, for example. Because is that not part of brotherhood? It's part of sisterhood. Because brotherhood and brothers what? Sisterhood, right? That's part of it. Because it's sisterly for you to understand, sisters, that, not every woman is going to have a man to themselves, a 1-to-1 ratio, where doggone it, men are outnumbered by women 5-to-1 in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. So if we're only allowed to deal with our own, how you gonna have a 1-to-1 ratio when y'all got us beat 5-to-1? Selfishness. But anyway, so going back to my question though, who is verse 13 referring to? Go ahead.
Lucifer?
It's referring to Lucifer. Who's Lucifer though? Mind you, again, revisit the question that I asked you in verse 12 about Lucifer, which was,
How do you fall from heaven?
how do you fall from heaven? What is heaven?
State of mind.
It's a state of mind. So Lucifer essentially fell from a state of mind, a condition, or a position of power, essentially, as well. When did Lucifer have any type of authority over the Most High when he was in heaven?
Yeah.
Or when he was dwelling in the place of the Most High, Salakia? When did he have that type of dominion, that authority?
Never.
Okay, but when and where did he have it?
He had dominion here on earth.
Here on earth. So, who is Lucifer actually?
Satan.
Who is Satan? Is it somebody under the earth with a pitchfork?
It's Esau.
It's Esau. It's a so-called white man. So in verse 13, for how thou hast said in thine heart, who is saying in their heart? Who's saying that in their heart?
Esau.
What is Esau saying in his heart?
That he will, eventually ascend to heaven. Basically saying he'll be in that state of mind once again.
Not necessarily again, but he'll be in that position to be on top. That he'll ascend into heaven. Read on.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
Above the stars of God. What are the stars of God?
The stars we have now?
Or? Is it the stars we have now? I mean, I'm asking you. No, it's not the stars that you see in the sky. Go ahead.
Or is it basically his examples that he has that has the people that have followed the Most High the best, like being
Give me an example.
like Yahushua.
Give me another example.
Moses.
Give me another example.
Isaiah.
Those are your stars. Those are the stars of the Most High. See, y'all gotta understand that, first and foremost, that this doggone Bible was written by us being Israelites, who are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You understand? And how do we speak? Man, we speak in slang. Oh, damn, man, she bad. What'd I just say?
She look good.
Oh, she look good. Oh, you know what? Just stay on topic. Bruh, like, he's just the star of my life.
The example.
The example.
The role model.
Role model. The one who shines in my life for me to follow after. Right? So, read verse 13 again and go ahead from the top.
For thou hast said in thine heart.
Whose heart?
Esau's.
Go ahead.
I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
Uh-huh.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregations.
So, what is the mount of the congregation? Hey, shalom, Lord in Christ, Dwayne Davis. I see you. What is the mount of the congregation? What does it mean for you to mount something? No, hey, no sweat. No sweat. I prefer you to just look it up.
So there's two definitions, but I'm assuming.
Go ahead, read the first one.
So this first one says just to climb up, stairs, hill, whatever. And then the second one is to organize and initiate a campaign or other significant course of action.
There's no other definitions?
Nothing that goes into this context.
What was the first one again?
Climb up, stairs, hill.
Okay, all right. So I will sit upon the mount.
The second one sounded more.
Go ahead. Read it again.
Organize and initiate a campaign or other significant course of action.
And those were nouns. Or no, those were verbs.
Those are verbs.
Look up, there's a noun for mount. Look up the mount. That's lucky. Look up the noun definition. Or even what's the word for describing a noun? Not a pronoun.
An adjective?
An adjective describes a noun? Actually, yeah, that would be an adjective.
Yeah.
Right now in this sentence. So either look up a noun for mount or the adjective for mount. Anybody online? Keep on looking that up. I'll check YouTube myself.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything. There's more verbs that showing up.
All right. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation. So, how would you break that down? What is a congregation?
Is it like a group of people coming together?
Essentially, yeah. What congregation do you think is being referred to?
Esau's congregation. Or
B. Read it again from the top. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. So, who are the stars of God?
God's prophets, Isaiah, Yahushua, Moses, so on.
And who is Moses' congregation? Who's Isaiah's congregation? Who is Yahushua's congregation?
Israelites.
The Israelites. So with that being said as well, I mean, what position are the Israelites supposed to have in the first place?
Have that power to be on top.
We supposed to be on top. So what is Esau saying right here? What is Lucifer saying right here? That I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation.
You would be among them.
What's a mount? See, I can't even ask you that. A mount is basically the top of the congregation. You understand? So if Lucifer is sitting on the top of the Israelite congregation, then who else is he sitting on top of?
Black, Hispanics, Native Americans.
Who else?
The other nation. Oh, wow.
He's sitting on top of everybody. Who's sitting on everybody right now?
Esau.
So don't that sound like this is being played out? It's already been played out, right? Go ahead and read verse 14.
Verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
Man, I mean, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. What was one thing that Donald Trump was like really big on what he had started? What he was trying to initiate during his presidency, his first presidency. Mind you, I mean, if you've been paying attention to a little bit of what he's been saying and whatnot, it's not like he's going to run again in 2024. I'm not making no predictions or anything, but anybody want to put some money down? Put down that Trump is going to run in 2024. I can put some money down. He might win, but that's just me. Because I feel like Biden going to mess things up real bad, especially with gas prices and whatnot are going up. But, Esau need his Lord and Savior back. But what did Trump create during his presidency that would ascend above the heights of the clouds?
His wall that he wanted to build?
He built a wall above the clouds?
I don't know. I mean, could have described it as. I didn't really pay too much attention to that kind of stuff anyway.
There was a new branch of military that was formed under Donald Trump. You got the Marines, which is, your top-notch amphibious force. You got the Navy, which is your, Marines is amphibious to land. You got the Navy, which is amphibious. Air Force, which is air, and Army, which is a collective of all of them. What's missing in 2021? Space Force. He created the Space Force. Where's space at? Above what?
Above the sky.
Above. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. It's above the clouds. Then, mind you, as well. Then what's his name? SpaceX owner, Elon Musk. They supposedly, they got a whole little drone thing, driving around, looking like the doggone Wall-E and whatnot on Mars. Everything's wild. So I mean, isn't that not his conquest to being like the Most High? Because I mean, essentially, the Most High can technically be anywhere and everywhere in this entire universe, right? Yeah, he in the fourth dimension, and he too doggone big to come down on, actually be here on Earth. So mind you, that's not what I'm saying. But I mean, is this not all his territory? Does not Earth belong to the Most High? Does not Mars belong to the Most High? Does not all the stars and the planets and everything in outer space, period, belong to the Most High? So isn't that essentially what Esau has always been talking about with, colonization of the other planets? Because when you colonize another planet, what are you saying?
You're saying you're God.
When the Europeans colonized America, at the end of the day, what did America become? See me one more time real quick. What did America become? Check online. Oh, Salaki, since I see you, I ain't saying that. Lucifer is defined as white man / oppressors. You are right about that. What? Nothing? To colonize something is to what? To claim something for yourself. So when the Europeans colonized America, they took it over. So now, this is my land. So when Elon Musk goes to Mars, guess what he get to say? Guess what Esau get to say? This is my planet. This is my territory. I took all this over. And if the Lord allows him, to expand outside the solar system, to expand outside the galaxy, to hit the entire universe, hell, if there's even such thing as a multiverse, what's Esau gonna do? Anything he touches, this is mine. This belongs to me. Right? So, in other words, I would be like the Most High, where the Most High owns all that. He's going to be like the Most High in that context, right? Read verse 15.
Verse 15.
Uh-huh.
Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
Ooh, what's that saying? Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell. Who is being brought down to hell?
Esau.
Esau is, right? To the sides of the pit. What's that saying? What pit? The pits of what? Kind of just gave it to you.
Practically bringing them to the bottom.
I mean, filling the bottom, yeah, in a sense, but no. Because what's the size of the pit?
Not necessarily, but it's, I guess, near where the pit would actually be.
Near the pit?
I'm not sure.
To the sides of the pit. To the sides of the pit where, I mean, you could basically look at it as if, the sides, you see the sides first of those that are in hell. Let's say that figuratively, because what is hell?
State of mind.
State of mind is a condition, or it's you being 6 feet under. That's what hell is. All right. So if you're 6 feet under in hell, you buried it all to the sides, right? If it's a condition, then so like to the sides of the pit with your condition. I mean, what are the sides of a condition? You can say in every shape and form of being in hell. You could say that it's an outward appearance, and then also a mind state. If you're in a mind state of hell, I mean, that's pretty much the last definition that we just went over. It's basically just an outward appearance from the mental. You understand? Read verse 16.
Verse 16.
Uh-huh.
They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake the kingdoms?
So, what's that brother's name? Eric Wiley. Read verse 16 again for that brother Eric Wiley, loud and clear.
They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee.
Who is going to be? Who is the they that shall see? Who is the they? First of all, in verse 16.
Esau?
No. Everybody else. Anybody that sees Esau, that's they. That see thee. So who's the thee?
Esau.
That's Esau. Shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, read from there and say it aloud.
Is this the man that
Is this the what?
The man.
Is this the what?
The man.
No, the angel.
The man.
The demon.
The man.
The what?
The man.
Hold on. Go to verse 12 real quick. Read verse 12.
Verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven,
Uh-huh.
O Lucifer?
Oh, who?
Lucifer.
Who?
Lucifer.
So Lucifer is what?
A man.
Oh, Lordy Lou. So I got that from a book I used to read as a kid. So Akim Eric Wiley, let me know in the comments if I answered your question with verse 16. Go ahead and read verse 16 from the top.
Verse 16.
Uh-huh.
They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee
Uh-huh.
and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms?
So what's that saying right there? Break it down line by line. Go ahead.
They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee. So them being the other nations looking at Esau.
What's narrowly look upon them? Look narrowly look upon thee. What does that mean?
To look, I guess, straight at them.
Exactly, like specifically focusing on just you, on just Esau, on just, according to 12, verse 12, Lucifer, whom of which is a man, in verse 16. Go ahead.
And consider thee.
So what does that mean to consider thee? What's it mean to consider something? What are you doing when you consider something?
I guess
There you go. Do that real quick. Give me like 2 seconds. got that?
Con.
All right, go ahead and read it. What's the meaning? What's consider mean?
Consider.
Uh-huh.
Think carefully about something, typically before making a decision.
Read that first part again.
And
No, the definition.
Oh, sorry. Think carefully
The
about.
what?
Think carefully.
What?
Think carefully.
What?
Think carefully.
What's the first word?
Think.
So, what does it mean to consider thee?
To think about.
Carefully at that. And think carefully about the saying. So now they're thinking hard. And they're like, damn. What do they think about?
Is this the person that...
Yeah, read up like you read it. Like you're supposed to be reading.
Is this the man that made the earth to tremble?
Go ahead.
That did shake kingdoms?
Because there's that. Who did that? Who made the earth tremble? Who shook kingdoms?
Esau.
What kingdoms did he shake?
Every single one.
Essentially, because I mean, what stability has China, Japan, Africa, any kingdom of people? So that's Moab, Elam, Ammon, Ham. What nation of people was not shaken? What kingdom was not shaken because at the hands of Esau? Hell, even who in specific, the only one that actually matters?
Israelites.
Israel. Our kingdom was shaken by Esau. So in that day, did the Akim ever get back? No, he didn't. All right, no sweat. So in that day, when he gets brought down into the pits of hell, everyone shall see and look at him, be like, yo, hold on. When he's in hell, like this is the people that like knocked us off of our high horse, that knocked us out of our position that we was in before. This is the people who trembled the earth. This is the people that shook kingdoms. These mighty men. Can you tell me why they gonna think that? Go ahead.
Because they try to act so, I guess, good towards the other people and people.
No, that's not it. That is not it. That's the complete. Go ahead.
Is it because they've deceived us of what they really are?
And what is that deception in specific of who they really are? What kind of people do they project themselves to be today that in reality they really are?
Project themselves to be. I don't want to say good people. This is another word. They project themselves to be, I guess, righteous people.
You're not wrong. But give me a little more than that. for time's sake, because I do want to, finish this up. They project themselves to be this mighty people. It's mighty and great people. Hell, America is so great. America. So great with all these opportunities and this, that, and the other. As long as you ain't a nigga, you ain't no savage, you ain't no wetback. As long as you ain't Israel, America is a great land. But of course, it's all built for and by so-called white men, by Esau, or what we just went over, Lucifer. You understand? So when he gets knocked down from that position, think about it. What does Esau really have to lean on when you take away rape, when you take away murder, when you take away thievery? I mean thievery, theft of culture, land, anything that can be taken from somebody, anything you can think of, best believe that's what Esau do. Once all that's removed from him, the ability to do those things, what does Esau have? What culture does he have? Oh, there's 68, or how many genders are there? How many genders do they say there are?
I've heard some people.
Look it up, just real quick. Just for I ain't gonna say that. Just for for us all to giggle a little bit, just real quick. How many genders are there according to the so-called white man? And then after you get that, I want you to go to the book of Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. That's where we're going next.
64.
There's 64 genders. I don't know how, but there's 64 genders. There's a thing called height equality. You seen that post you seen that, right? Yeah. There's height equality. I mean, it's a lot. Like the things that Esau come up with, crafty. I'll give him that. I will not knock that. I will not knock that from him. That is one crafty individual to create as much division as possible. You know what I'm saying? If anybody is good at doing division, it's probably best. Everybody talk about being, sitting next to the Asian kid. He might be good for subtraction, multiplication, and addition. But if you got a math test with just division, sit next to Esau. I'm telling you, he's the best one at it. No matter how big the numbers is, he will dwindle it down to what makes him comfortable, basically. You know what I'm saying? So that he has an opportunity to pass because height equality and all the spectrums of genderism. But anyways, so now we understand Lucifer's a man, right? Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 9. Read that when you got it.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 9.
Hold on, Salaki. I want you to start from 7. Okay, 7.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a war in heaven.
Where was a war at? Salaki. There's a reason why I wanted to start at 7, because we, with Isaiah 14 and where we start off at 12, I said that Lucifer had fallen from heaven, right? We're going to keep that in mind and keep that same context. So what is this war in heaven? What's a war? What's this war in heaven? Where exactly is this taking place? It's something we see in movies. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm not entirely sure, but the heaven above the clouds.
Essentially, because first and foremost, how is Yahweh Shah returning with his 200 million angels? How's he returning?
Through the sky.
Cracking that sky with 200 million angels. And I mean, what's he bringing? What are those angels in? Those 200 million angels. What are they in?
Oh.
Do you know?
The IFOs?
Exactly. No, IFOs, yeah. For those of y'all that don't know, UFOs. We in ISUPK we call them IFOs because we know what they are. They are identified. And we will do a breakdown on that, on the breakdown of what UFOs actually are according to the Bible. But then UFOs are actually IFOs. They identify if you were Israelite. They identify if you read the Bible and you have if the Most High gives you the wisdom and understanding of these records of this Bible. You understand? So there's gonna be a war in heaven, right? Read on.
Michael and his angels fought against the dragon.
Do you think you can tell me who the dragon is? Go ahead.
Esau.
Read on.
And the dragon fought and his angels.
So, and the dragon fought and his angels. Whose angels?
The Most High's angels.
Who is the his? And the dragon fought and his.
The Esau's angels, so to speak. So would that be his like?
What's an angel? What is angel? What is angel? What does that mean? What is an angel? Go ahead.
Angel, a spiritual being believed to act as an attendant, agent, or messenger of God.
That last part you just said. Actually, no. Salaki. Read that whole thing again.
A spiritual being believed to act as an attendant, agent, or messenger of God.
Now let's go right back to verse 7. It says, "And the dragon fought and his angels." So what is an angel again? Someone who's
a messenger of God. Basically.
Okay, so what is the dragon's angels?
They're the false prophets, basically false apostles and stuff.
Actually, no, that's a very good answer. But remember, I'm a stupid Christian. Now you just kind of took me off a little bit. Well, where the false prophets come from? Now you got to, back and forth with other precepts. So, what are the angels in this verse right here? Say this first, and then you can follow up with what you just said. This first is this being the answer I actually want. And then you can follow up with the false prophets. Because what are the false prophets? What are angels?
A messenger of God.
A messenger of God. So if the dragon has angels, what are they?
Messenger of Satan.
Okay. There you go. So it's the messengers of the dragon. So which now you can follow what you just said in the first place, which was who are those angels of the dragon? Who are they? No, you just said it.
Or either Satan or
who is Satan's angels? Who are they?
The false prophets.
The false prophets. So Michael and his angels, Michael and his messengers are now fighting against us. Or I said Salaki. Michael and his angels are now fighting against who?
The dragon and his angels.
But who in specific?
Esau.
Be more specific.
Satan?
Because who does the ISUPK, what does the ISUPK consider everybody else if they're not in the truth? What are you?
Heathen?
No. Christian. Yeah, I know. Man, I gave you the doggone blueprint before, bro. Like, I'm trying to, follow after the mighty man, Officer Shabal, the main man that, that's put me on game right now. And that's one of his biggest favorite question answers. Hit you with a question, what's the answer? Christianity, Christians. But there's a good reason for that, though. It's because that's one of the biggest things that plagues our people in the first place. It's because of Christianity is why we have these fake Israelite camps. Because of Christianity, because if I remember correctly, I believe Christianity, either Christianity or Catholicism, we'll go with Catholicism, is older than Muslim. Yeah, that's right. Catholicism, the Catholics begat not only the Christians, the Christian belief, but also the Muslims. And you can look that up. Look that up. So, who all is Michael and the angels fighting against? And Michael and his angels, who are they fighting against? I know it says the dragon and his angels, but who is the dragon and his angels? Who's the dragon?
Esau and the false prophets.
What false prophets?
The popes, the bishops, and whatever else.
Just any ideology outside of the truth. It's that simple. Because you got the truth. Let's revisit what we spoke about earlier. We had that straight and narrow path where everybody's, that's too hard, that's too scary. I might teeter-totter to the left or to the right. And then you got the yellow brick road where Lucifer, transformed himself into, an angel of light. Oh, come this way. Look at all these rainbows and all this space. And all the many things that you can do. You can do whatever the hell you want. Just do as much as you can until you get to me. Because now you're going to be damned. I did my job. He did his job. He really did. Because mind you as well, Satan is a doggone, he is an angel. But he ain't no angel with no doggone pitchfork though. He's an angel of deceit. That's his job. He's supposed to send a message of deceit. You understand? Who are his angels, though? You said it. Go ahead.
False prophets.
In specific. You're right. But which false prophets? No, I'm not going to take false prophets. Who are Who is Satan's angels? Who? I see everything that I keep thinking of will just give you the answer.
What I mean, would it be like bishops, popes, and
Who is Satan's main worshipers?
Esau?
Exactly. It's Esau. Because what is Esau? According to the Bible, there's something, we have a hashtag. I don't know if I should say that. So, you know, I'm not going to say that. I will say this, though. No, I'm not going to say that. Who does the Bible speak of as the devil?
Esau.
Oh, exactly. Esau is the devil that the Bible speak of. We'll say that. Right? What does devil mean?
A deceiver.
It's a deceiver. What is Satan's job?
To deceive.
To deceive. So who are his angels?
Esau.
What is an angel?
A messenger.
It's a messenger. So Satan's messengers is Esau. Satan employed Esau to spread all that deceit, all the lies, whether it's Christianity, Catholicism, Muslim, Buddhism, Hinduism, Hibbitism, whatever African tribal bull crap. Because mind you as well, we all know that the so-called white man, you know, he loves to go down to, you know, them African tribes. 4 bottles of water. And you know what? I ain't defending, you know, I ain't sticking up for the so-called white, so-called African man, you know, them Hamites. He loves to go down there. All that water, all that food they already got. They might share a little bit, but you know, go down and talk about some. Oh, tell me what you believe in. Tell me about your ways. Tell me about your spirituality. You understand? So, with that being said, before we move forward, if I may just take a quick little intermission, just real quick. For those of y'all that are just now tuning in, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube page, ISUPK Nevada. Those of y'all that are on Facebook or like to be on Facebook, make sure that you like, share the video, and then also go on to ISUPK Las Vegas, which is the ISUPK Las Vegas Facebook page, and like the page. Mind you as well, you know, we're about to have a whole lot of heavy content that's coming out, where it's interviews with, you know, the officers, where, you know, you get a little background on where they came from and whatnot. And also, you know, seeing us get down, Slovakia, you know, fishing the brothers and sisters out of the world, you know, interviews doing that. So, with that being said, we won't get back on topic. Go ahead and read verse 8.
Verse 8. And prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven.
Ooh, read that again.
And prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven.
Who did not prevail?
Esau.
The dragon. We'll stick with the context first.
Come.
But we understand. We already broke down and understood that the dragon is Esau, right? Well, technically not yet. We got a little bit ahead of ourselves. But when we get to verse 9, we will explain how the dragon is Esau. But so the dragon did not prevail, nor did his angels. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. What does that mean, for their place not to be found anymore in heaven? And we kind of already went over this, I believe, in Isaiah. Go ahead.
They're in hell. The size of hell that it said.
What is heaven in this context?
the sky or the clouds?
No.
Or just a state of mind?
No. I mean, yes, state of mind, yes, a condition. But what was the one thing I was trying to get y'all to say earlier about what heaven was that Lucifer fell from in Isaiah 14 and 12?
Being from the top?
Being from the top. Their place was no longer found at the top. So, of course, the condition and the mindset was, diminished. Because now, as you follow, you're like, oh, man, now I got Moab above me. I got these African booty scratchers above me. I got these people above me. I got them above me. Like, then worst of all, because of course, part of the curse, part of the curse that we have in Deuteronomy, and you ain't got to pull it. I'm just going to paraphrase it real quick. But, because we didn't follow law, statutes, commandments, the head will become the tail, and the tail will become the head. So as Esau falls, what's also happening?
They're going to the bottom or coming to the top.
Exactly. So to revisit my question, in the very beginning of the class about how what was it? I'm trying to remember the exact words I asked. But so basically, how does one get salvation?
By following the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High.
You're right, but go back to what we talked about in the very beginning before we started breaking open the book. How do you get? How do you qualify for salvation?
You have to be an Israelite.
That's one. How do Israelites qualify for salvation? How do we qualify for it?
Truth.
No, that's how I would say that still falls under getting salvation. How do you qualify for salvation? Because for someone to get salvation, what has to happen to someone else? According to the Bible, mind you, as well. So we got anything online? For one to get salvation, what happens? For Israel to get salvation from Edom, what has to happen to Edom? Go ahead.
Someone has to basically fall. So Esau has to fall.
Like, yes, but there's something more specific I'm looking for. Yeah, more specific. So if Israel gets salvation from what you just said, Israel gets salvation, what happens to them? What do they do?
We rise to the top.
We rise. So Are we at the top?
Wow.
So the person that the ones that are at the top, what happens to them?
They go to the bottom.
How do they go to the bottom?
Destruction.
Hey, give yourself a hand now. Exactly. To destruction. You cannot have salvation without destruction. You understand? So when you go into Revelation chapter 12, 7 and 8, first and foremost, verse 7 talks about a war. Then you go into verse 8 and says that basically the dragon didn't prevail. Neither was their place found anymore in heaven. So with their place not being found in heaven anymore, what is that saying?
That they're at the bottom. That they're in hell.
That they're falling. They fell from their position. You understand? So now they're falling from their position. They're no longer at the top anymore. Right, you understand? Go ahead and read verse 9.
Verse 9. And the great dragon was cut out, that old serpent called the devil.
Oh, hold on. You going fast. You going to wait. Hold on. I'm a Christian now. What you just said? You just said, and the great dragon was cast out. So first we started about, verse 7 and 8. We talked about a dragon. Then he had a comma, and said, what?
The devil.
No. Read from the top.
And the great dragon was cast out.
Okay, so that great dragon, we're talking about the great dragon was cast out. Go ahead.
That old serpent.
Wait, so that dragon is also what?
That old serpent.
What old serpent? What old serpent? What's the serpent that he's talking about? Go ahead.
I don't know the precept exactly.
No, just bring me to where it's at.
The one that it talks about in Genesis, talking to Eve about
the old serpent. In what book is that in?
The book of Genesis.
What does Genesis mean?
The beginning.
The beginning. So that old serpent is basically saying that dragon is that old serpent from the beginning. The old serpent is basically the serpent from the beginning, the serpent from Genesis. You understand what I'm saying? So in other words, though, what's also significant about is saying the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent. What's already significant about just that portion so far? Because mind you as well, we still got a lot to go in this doggone verse. Go ahead.
The old serpent. That's the most significant part, right?
No, what is the significance?
Being cast out.
No. What is the significance about the great dragon and the old serpent? That's why you need to listen. That's what you need to listen.
They mean the same thing. That's the significance. They're bound to each other.
What's one way just within that verse? What's one way that you know that it is the same thing? And my only hint is, I ain't no English major, so I know it's one of these two words. I believe it's punctuation. No, it's grammar. I think the grammar of it. Or is it punctuation? No, it's grammar. It is grammar. So what is it about the grammar that lets you know that those two are the same? Read it based off of, you said it's grammar.
No, I think that might be punctuation. Because
Man, look at the word grammar. And then look at the word punctuation. Look it up.
Grammar, the whole system and structure of a language, of languages in general.
That's grammar. It's a system. So what's the system of verse 9 that lets you know that the great dragon is also being referred to as the old serpent? And that's all we only stop there. I know some of y'all already started reading the rest of the verse.
Say the question again, please.
What about the grammar in the verse so far lets you know that the serpent and the dragon is the same?
Well, it says, and the great dragon was cast out. Then it says, that old serpent.
I know what it says.
So that being said, like,
you got the definition of grammar still on?
yes.
Read it again.
The whole system and structure of a language or of languages in general, usually taken as consisting of syntax and morphology, including inflections, and sometimes also phonology and semantics.
So it's the system and the structure. Basically, every system, every structure has a way that you could break it down piece by piece, so you know what everything is basically, what is referring to what, so that you know what is being spoken about, essentially. You understand? So how do you know that the dragon and the old serpent is the same?
Because it's going on talking about what the dragon is. Saying that it's the devil, the serpent.
We didn't get to that part with the devil, but you're right. But you are right. Let's read. How about, you're right, though. Let's read on. That old serpent, go ahead.
Called the devil and Satan.
So the great dragon was cast out. That old serpent called what?
The devil.
Uh-huh.
And Satan.
And it was called. So the dragon is not only is he a dragon. So we ain't talking about, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, where you got a bunch of Moabites, Wan Chong, Ching Chong, flying around with their little spears, doing some little, I keep it, but it was kind of cool. But, some retarded crap. We ain't talking about them. We talking about a dragon. That's basically a dragon is a great serpent. Matter of fact, let's get the definition of what a dragon is, and I'm going to pull it out of the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. You understand? Here we go. It said, dragon. This is on page 371 out of the Zondervan Illustrated Bible Dictionary. This English term is used in some Bible versions to render Hebrew to Tannin, which is H9490 in New English version. Not that we read from the New English version, but their version translates to monster. I think we should, pay attention to that. In passages that speak of cosmic combat, the Hebrew word came also to mean snake. What did I just say that a dragon was before I read it?
Serpent.
Though, what did I say? I said a great serpent. Right? All right. Can also mean snake. Exodus 7 and 9. In the book of Revelations, it stands for Greek Draken, which is G1532, and designates Satan. So basically, that's letting me know right now that the dragon essentially is just a great modern day serpent, snake. You got the old serpent, then you got the new serpent, which is called
Esau.
Read the verse. Read the verse.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan.
So he was called what?
The devil.
He was called the devil. And Satan. Devil meaning?
To deceive.
And Satan, it's like the angel Satan. Like, come on, man. Go ahead and read on.
Which deceiveth the whole world.
Oh, man. That's heavy. But we're going to push forward. Go ahead.
He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 10.
No, you good right there. No, you too wild. So mind you as well, understand that the dragon, the old serpent, devil, and Satan, synonymous. They one. Everybody want to talk about a doggone Holy Trinity. How about this unholy quadruplity? I probably just made up a word, but the unholy, quadrifecta of devil, Satan, serpent, and dragon. So I knew I was missing one. But nobody want to talk about that. They want to talk about how God is the Holy Ghost, and the Holy Ghost is also Jesus, and Jesus is also God, which is wrong, and wrong. They are not all one. You understand? That is, the Most High and Yahweh Shai are not one. Aside from the fact that they are on one accord. You understand? But what is all one is the dragon, the old serpent of Genesis, the devil, which has been walking to and fro, and Satan. Well, Satan's been walking to and fro. That go back into Job. But the devil, like we also already broke out, that's the deceiver. And you know what? Just for time's sake, I'm gonna bring that out myself. Look at what the word devil means in the Bible dictionary. So, like, give me a second. I don't know my alphabet. There we go. So, devil in the Zondervan Illustrated Bible Dictionary, page 357. In the plural, this word is used by the King James Version several times in the Old Testament and frequently in the New Testament. For these uses, see demon. Otherwise, the term occurs only in the New Testament and only in the singular, as the rendering of Greek, which means slanderer. The devil is depicted as one inciting to evil. Those under his control could be called children of the devil, and he is said to hold the power of death. Though ruler of the world, he was defeated by the death of Christ and his resurrection. For discussion, see Satan. Oh, see, now I gotta jump around. Look up slanderer. Look up the word slanderer for me real quick. Look that up. and then we're gonna move on to the book of Second Thessalonians 2.
I got it.
Go ahead.
One who attacks the reputation of another by slander or libel.
Or what?
Libel? It's Libel.
Libel.
Con.
Look that word up too. I don't know if that's libel, libel. You might be right, but look that up as well.
Libel, a published false statement that is damaging to a person.
Say that again.
A published false statement that.
Wait, say it slow, because mind you, you know what? I'm not no Christian, but I'm a little slow. I need things to be slowly breaking down to. What does this word mean? How do you say the word again?
Libel.
Libel.
A published false statement.
It's published. Mind you, so off the rip, you're talking about what the definition of the devil is, right?
Con.
Which is a slanderer, right?
Con.
Now we get into the nitty gritty what a slanderer is, right?
Con.
So a slanderer does what? Read that from the top.
A published false statement that is damaging to a person's reputation or a written defamation.
So for me, for anybody to publish something that is false, right? I'm saying it correctly so far, right?
Con.
That would make them a slanderer, right?
Con.
So who is the slanderer according to the Bible? Because they made false publications, correct?
Con.
So who am I talking about that made false publications?
Esau.
I mean, you need any more than that? We almost done. Hold this real quick. So the book of Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 1. Go ahead, read it when you got it.
Oh, chapter 2, verse 1, you said?
Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 1. So you know what I'm saying? The devil is a slanderer, is someone who makes false publications. A publication, whether it's an image or, a publication can also be oral. Go out in the street or even going to these churches and talking about, making publications about how God loves everybody, how Christ did this for everybody. Talking about how certain events that didn't happen happened for everybody. And that's exactly what Christianity is about in the first place. You understand? Go ahead and read it when you got it.
The book of Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 1. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, and by our gathering together unto him. Verse 2, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of Mashiach is at hand. Verse 3, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
Now, what I want you to do is look up that word perdition real quick from the Baba Kashad. And I'm going to break down the rest of it, what we already read. So verse 1, it says, now we beseech you. It's, basically, I'm reaching out to speak to you, brethren. So I'm reaching out to speak to you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, and by our gathering together unto him. So that's basically us congregating unto, under and for, Yahushua Mashiach, under his banner, under his way, that straight and narrow path that we started off with in the very beginning of this class. You understand? That ye be not soon shaken in mind or be troubled. I got the hiccup. That ye be not soon shaken in mind or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us at the day of Christ is at hand. So basically, as the day of Christ is approaching, don't be shaken. Don't be deterred from what the truth is. Don't be deterred or set from the path of what has already been taught to you, and you understand, for you to essentially inherit the kingdom. Essentially, you know what I'm saying? Don't let your mind go astray. Don't let your spirit be shaken. Hold strong. No matter what is said, no matter what you see, no matter what, your only guidance, your railing of life is the way I like to look at it. Like when I was in the world, if I made just a quick little sidebar, when I was in the world, because I used to be agnostic before, Commander General Yohana, showed me that I was being retarded. I had a simple little railing of life is what I used to call it. Anything that pertained to, homosexuality, anything that pertained to, murder, anything that went against life, basically, I knew to steer away from. You understand? Because it just never made sense to me. And that was just a quick little sidebar on how I was trying to find, what faith I wanted to belong to. And then, Barakatah Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai, for me finding and coming into the ISUPK, but also, Commander General Yohana, for most importantly, Commander General Yohana, for holding strong onto his sword and never dropping it, to even give me the opportunity to come into this truth. You understand? So with that being said, where did I leave off? Nor by letter as from us, as the day of Christ is at hand. So with that being said, do not let anything deter you from essentially, getting the kingdom which you can obtain. That salvation which you are able to obtain. You understand? Go ahead. Let no man, let no man deceive you by any means. Don't let anybody, don't let no Christian try to tell you otherwise. Don't let nobody, period, deter you from what the truth is. When you know the truth, don't let nobody fucking, salaki for my language, don't let nobody beguile you. Don't be like Eve in Genesis. Especially when you already read Genesis and understand Eve is we got beguiled, a woman essentially initiated the destruction of Israel. She was the beginning initiation. Don't be like that woman. Man and woman of Israel. Do not be like that woman, Eve. You understand what I'm saying? Moving forward. For that day shall not come. For that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Go ahead. What's that say? What does that mean?
Perdition. In parentheses, it says in Christian theology, a state of eternal punishment and damnation into which a sinful and unpenitent person passes after death.
So Who's that sound like already? The son of punishment. Go ahead.
Esau.
Esau is basically the son of punishment. I mean, don't it damn near seem like that, we are in eternal hell right now, if you think about it. This is pretty much Dante's Inferno right here, right in front of you. You can go and play the video game all you want. You can go and read the book all you want. All of that is going on right now. That's why you can literally have a son and a daughter and see the both of them get murdered in front of you, and there's nothing you can do. What, you think that's heaven? You think as a black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, that's heaven? No, Salakia, you wrong. Now, with that being said, because we are short on time, my next class that I teach, we're gonna officially wrap up the rest of this breakdown. So as far as the of course, I'm gonna include the other nations into their destruction. I just wanted to hit home first and foremost the main people that we are absolutely in love with. The so-called white man. The so-called white man, Esau, as the Bible names him. My main focus was to get us to have an understanding of him, because it's so easy for us to understand the division between us and all the other nations, except for Esau. And that's part of the reason why we continue to be in the destruction that we are in today. That's why we continue to be under the oppression that we are under today. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said as well, for those of y'all that are on YouTube, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also hit the little bell so that you can get all the alerts of any time that we have a class. We upload any type of new content, period. You understand? And that's in ISUPK Nevada for those of y'all that are on Facebook and want to also follow on our YouTube. For those of y'all that are on YouTube and want to also stay informed on our Facebook aspect, that way, you can see how all the brothers and sisters get down, you know what I'm saying, with, just our picture albums and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Go to ISUPK in Las Vegas. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe the video from there. And then also, share the video from there as well. Mind you, again, we're always going to continue to stress not to be annoying, not to be a nuisance, anything of that nature. But mind you, there's a reason why I got the opportunity to discover this truth, essentially. And there's also a reason for you to even have the opportunity to discover it for yourself as well. So why rob that from another brother or sister, from any of the four corners of the earth? So make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Push it out to all your friends, your family, etc. So then that way, all of our brothers and sisters have the opportunity to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, and serve the Lord, so that it's basically what it comes down to, so that they can actually have the salvation that was promised to our forefathers, as long as you follow them laws, statutes, and commandments. And so with that being said, Shalom Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatham to all the brothers. Shalom Yahweh Shamar Elatah Hashem Yahweh Shai to all the sisters. And with that, class dismissed.